You know that moment when your own father looks you dead in the eyes and calls you a family disgrace in front of everyone you've ever loved? That was me, November 23rd, 2023, standing in the middle of Grandma Ruthie's dining room with 17 pairs of eyes burning holes through my soul. But here's the thing they don't tell you about hitting rock bottom at Thanksgiving dinner. Sometimes, that's exactly where your comeback story begins. My name is Marlena Sinclair, I'm 34 years old, and this is the story of how my father tried to humiliate me into paying for a $2,847 Thanksgiving dinner, and how exactly 1 year later, I served him a dish of revenge so cold, it made the November wind feel like a summer breeze. Grab your coffee, honey, because this one's going to be a bumpy ride. The background. Let me take you back a bit, so you understand exactly what kind of family I come from. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, the middle child of 3. My older brother, Jonathan, was always the golden boy varsity quarterback, straight A's, married his college sweetheart, and now runs a successful real estate firm. My younger sister, Priscilla, was the baby, the pretty one, the one who could do no wrong in Daddy's eyes. And then there was me, Marlena, the difficult one. See, I made a choice when I was 22 that my family never forgave me for. Instead of going to law school like my father wanted, I followed my passion and became an artist. A painter, to be specific. And not just any painter, I painted murals, street art, commissioned pieces for local businesses. My father, Gregory Sinclair, is a retired federal judge. In his world, success means corner offices, 6-figure salaries and country club memberships. An artist daughter, that was his personal shame. You had so much potential, Marlena, he'd say at every family gathering, shaking his head like I'd personally betrayed him. You could have been somebody. Never mind that I was somebody. Never mind that I'd built my own business from scratch, that my work hung in galleries across 3 states, that I'd been featured in Richmond magazine twice. To my father, I was still the family disappointment. My mother, Constance, was no better. She just enabled his behavior, always saying things like, "Your father only wants what's best for you, sweetheart," while doing absolutely nothing to defend me. The Thanksgiving disaster of 2023. Now let me tell you about that fateful Thanksgiving. Every year, our family gathered at Grandma Ruthie's house in Henrico County. She was my father's mother, 82 years old, sharp as a tack, and the only person in that family who ever treated me like I mattered. That year, there were 17 of us crammed into her beautiful colonial home. My parents, my siblings with their spouses and kids, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole Sinclair clan. Grandma Ruthie had decided to do something different that year. Instead of cooking at home, she'd ordered a full catered Thanksgiving dinner from this fancy restaurant called the Virginia Table. We're talking heritage turkey, truffle mashed potatoes, organic everything. The works. Dinner was beautiful. The conversation was flowing, the wine was being poured generously, and for once I thought maybe, just maybe, we could get through a family gathering without incident. I was wrong. Right after dessert, when everyone was sitting around the table feeling stuffed and content, my father stood up and clinked his glass. "I'd like to make an announcement," he said, that familiar self-important tone in his voice. We all turned to look at him. As you all know, this dinner was catered this year. Mother insisted on it, and it was absolutely wonderful. He paused, looking around the table. The bill came to $2,847. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Where was he going with this? Now I've been thinking about who should cover this expense, and I believe it should be Marlena. The room went silent. I felt my face flush hot. "Excuse me," I managed to say. My father looked at me with that condescending smile I knew so well. "Well, you've been talking for years about how successful your little art business is, how you don't need our help, how you're doing just fine on your own. Consider this your opportunity to prove it." "Gregory," my mother started, but he held up his hand. "No, Constance, I'm tired of watching our daughter play pretend while the rest of this family actually contributes to society. Jonathan and Priscilla both brought gifts today. They contribute. But Marlena, she shows up empty-handed as always, riding on this family's coattails." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Dad, I brought 3 bottles of wine and a painting I made specifically for Grandma Ruthie." "Oh yes, a painting," he laughed. "How valuable. I'm sure the caterer would love to be paid in paintings, Marlena." I looked around the table for support. Jonathan was studying his plate. Priscilla was actually smirking. My aunts and uncles looked uncomfortable but said nothing. My cousins were either too young to understand or too smart to get involved. "You want to know what you are, Marlena?" my father continued, his voice getting louder. "You're a family disgrace. You always have been. The least you can do is pay for one dinner to make up for all the shame you've brought to this family name." That's when the tears came. I couldn't help it. 12 years of being belittled, dismissed, and treated like less than all came pouring out. "I'll pay it," I whispered, just wanting the moment to end. "I'll pay for the dinner." My father sat back down, satisfied. "There, that wasn't so hard, was it?" I excused myself, went to the bathroom, and cried for 20 minutes. When I came back out, everyone was acting like nothing had happened. That's what the Sinclair family does best, pretend the ugly moments don't exist. I paid the $2,847 on my credit card that night. It nearly maxed it out. I drove home in silence, and something inside me shifted. I was done. The year of transformation. What my father didn't know, what nobody in my family knew, was that 3 months before that Thanksgiving, I had received an offer that would change everything. A tech billionaire named Harrison Crawford had seen one of my murals in downtown Richmond. He reached out to me personally, asking me to create a series of large-scale art installations for his new corporate headquarters in Arlington. The contract, $450,000, paid over 18 months. I had signed it in August but hadn't told my family. Why? Because I was tired of them dismissing my achievements. I wanted to wait until the project was complete, until I had undeniable proof of success. After that Thanksgiving dinner, I threw myself into my work like never before. I was angry, yes, but I channeled that anger into creation. The Crawford project became the best work I'd ever done, 5 massive installations that told the story of innovation and human connection. But I didn't stop there. During that year, I also started investing. I'd always been good with money despite what my family thought. I just chose to live simply. I invested in real estate, in stocks, in myself. I took courses on business management. I hired an assistant, then a business manager. By fall of 2024, my little art business had generated just over $780,000 in revenue. I had bought my own home, a beautiful craftsman in Richmond's Fan District. I had money in the bank, a growing reputation, and something my family had never given me: self-respect. And I had a plan. Thanksgiving 2024, the reckoning. When Grandma Ruthie called about Thanksgiving, I was ready. "Same place, same time, sweetheart," she said. "I'm catering again this year, getting too old to cook for all these people." "Actually, Grandma," I said, my heart pounding, "I'd like to host Thanksgiving this year, at my new house." There was a pause. "You bought a house?" "I did, and I want to show the family." She agreed, excitement in her voice. Then I made her promise to keep it a secret from my father. "I want it to be a surprise," I said. For the next month, I planned everything meticulously. I hired the same catering company, the Virginia Table, but ordered an upgraded menu. I'm talking Wagyu beef, imported champagne, a dessert spread that would make a pastry chef weep. Total cost, $4,200. I also hired a professional photographer. You'll understand why in a moment. November 28, 2024 arrived. One by one, my family pulled up to my home. I stood on my wraparound porch, watching their faces transform from confusion to disbelief. My father was the last to arrive. He stepped out of his car, looked at my house, then looked at me. "What is this?" he asked. "Welcome to my home, Dad," I said sweetly. "Happy Thanksgiving." The dinner was spectacular. My house was filled with fresh flowers, candlelight, and the smell of the most incredible food money could buy. As everyone sat around my 12-seat mahogany dining table, custom-made, a gift to myself, I could see the questions in their eyes. After the main course, I stood up and clinked my glass, just like my father had done 1 year ago. "I'd like to make an announcement," I said. The room fell silent. 1 year ago, at this very holiday, I was called a family disgrace. I was forced to pay for a dinner I couldn't afford because my own father wanted to humiliate me. I looked directly at him. "Do you remember that, Dad?" His face reddened. "Marlena, this isn't the time." "Actually, it's exactly the time." I smiled. See, what you didn't know was that when you were calling me a disappointment, I was in the middle of closing a 6-figure art contract. Over the past year, I've generated close to $800,000 in revenue. I bought this house outright. No mortgage, and tonight's dinner, the one you're all enjoying, it cost $4,200, and I paid for it without batting an eye. The room was dead silent. But here's the thing, Dad. I'm not going to make you pay for this dinner to prove a point. Because unlike you, I don't need to humiliate the people I'm supposed to love to feel good about myself. I pulled out a folder and slid it across the table to him. What's this? He asked, his voice tight. It's a check for $2,847, the exact amount you forced me to pay last year. I'm returning it to you not because I need it, but because I don't want anything from you. Not your money, not your approval, not your version of success. Grandma Ruthie started crying. My mother looked like she'd seen a ghost. Jonathan actually looked ashamed. You spent my entire life making me feel like I was worth less than everyone else at this table, I continued. But I built something real, Dad, something that matters, and I did it without your support, without your blessing, and without your permission. I sat back down, my heart racing. For the first time in my life, my father had nothing to say. The aftermath. That night changed everything. Grandma Ruthie pulled me aside before she left and hugged me tighter than she ever had. I'm so proud of you, baby girl, she whispered. So proud. Jonathan called me the next week. He apologized for never standing up for me. We talked for 3 hours, and for the first time I felt like I had a brother. Even Priscilla reached out, though her apology was half-hearted at best. Baby steps, I suppose. As for my father, he sent me a letter a month later. Not an apology exactly, Gregory Sinclair doesn't apologize, but he acknowledged in his own stilted way that he had perhaps been too harsh in his expectations of me. I haven't fully forgiven him, I'm not sure I ever will. Some wounds are too deep for simple closure, but I've made peace with who I am and who he is. And I've learned something valuable. The best revenge isn't about making someone else feel small. It's about growing so tall that their opinions can't reach you anymore. Final thoughts. If you're reading this and you've ever been the family disappointment, the black sheep, the one who chose a different path, I see you. I understand. Your worth isn't determined by someone else's narrow definition of success. Your dreams aren't less valid because they don't fit into a conventional box. And your value as a human being isn't measured by how much money you make or what title sits next to your name. Build your life on your own terms. Let your success speak for itself. And if someone tries to make you feel small, remember, every giant was once looked down upon. This Thanksgiving, I'm grateful for the father who tried to break me, because he accidentally taught me just how strong I really am. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. May your turkey be moist, your wine be plentiful, and your family be, well, manageable. With love and a side of sweet revenge. Marlena Sinclair.